What's up, music producer? Bass Clef here. Today we're going to talk EQ tips for music producers. Now, I've worked with a lot of students over the years, and the crazy thing is, a lot of them are making the same mistakes. Now, you don't have to, I want you to avoid that. So today I'm going to show you my top 3 most common mistakes that I see music producers make and what you should do instead. Let's get into the doll. Number 1 is removing too much low end from your sounds. So I often see people putting high pass filters on basically everything in their session except for their kick and their bass line. This misinformation has been unfortunately spread around YouTube everywhere. It's just not true. You don't have to do this to everything, and many sounds need more low end than you expect. Maybe if you're using gentle high pass filters on some things up to, I don't know, say 80 hertz or so, it depends on the sound of course, and only if it really needs it, that might be okay. But I'm seeing a lot of people going further past 100, 200, even up towards 300 and removing a lot of this stuff here, which is often quite important. So the golden rule really is listen before you do anything. Don't just do stuff because somebody told you to, even me. Question it. Listen. Always listen and decide for yourself. But you often need to keep a lot of these frequencies in sounds like lead sounds, vocals, even some percussion sounds and things. The low end, even around 100, could be really important for power. If you don't do that, you're going to end up with quite a thin mix. Because of all those high pass filter cuts or whatever cuts you do, we're going to lack stuff around here like I mentioned, and it's going to sound kind of like if this was normal. And then you're going to end up with a hole around here, around about 300 hertz or so. Let's hear the difference. So it sounds kind of more cold and thin, doesn't have that warmth and power that you're going to want in a mix. So don't just immediately cut everything out of the low end without listening first and checking. Often you need much more than you think. A second part of this problem might have been caused by Ableton's EQ8. The analyzer down here is actually way more sensitive than people realize. Like, take a look at this at the start. See that big bump? It looks like we've got a whole bump of low end down there. And people would often look at this thing and think, oh, wow, I really need to cut that out. I can clearly see all this sub-frequency that's probably going to add up and cause problems. Now, I'm leaning against my sub pack right now and I can't feel anything. There's basically nothing there happening, right? So here's the interesting thing. If we put on a different analyzer, if I use my more high-end kind of analyzer over here, let's see what happens in the sub there. Nothing below about 100 hertz. Let's go back to the Ableton one. Huge big bump. So what's causing this difference? This scale is not the same as the numbers on the side here. The numbers on the side are for the knob position, right? So when I pull this down to 6 dB, that's what that lines up with. When I pull it down to about 12, it's lining up with that. But the analyzer itself is way more sensitive. Now I can tell you the scale on my one here, this one's going down, that line is minus 48 dB, so that next line must be about minus 96. And there's still nothing at about 100 dB quiet. That's why we can basically not hear it. This is what's confusing everybody, because everyone's thinking, well, I'm not sure if I can hear it or feel it. I better take it out just in case. It's probably not there. And sure, if you only cut up to about, say, here or something, it might not cause that much problem for your mix or whatever, but you're just doing unnecessary work and you're wasting your time when you should be doing effective things that actually make your mix better so you can do your mix quicker. If we went in, I can demonstrate this too. If we went into here and changed my settings, let's put it all the way up to 96. Now we see all that stuff down there. But that's basically putting this down to a much deeper level, which, yeah, like I said, you're just not going to hear this stuff. Number 2 is forgetting about the mid-range. So I see this very commonly when I open up students' projects, and if you're doing this too, basically it's wrong. It's not your fault though, but you should not be EQing like this and using this as your only option, only scooping out lows, only scooping out highs, and especially doing it with filters as well too. You're missing out on all this stuff in the middle here, all this control where you can have things either up or down and have much more interesting shapes and control over what's happening. Because if all you do is scoop things out of the low and scoop things out of the top, you're trying to bracket things into little boxes here and there. That's not really how EQing works. Sometimes you need it to have these dips in the middle, and we need more of a shape like this where it has more in the lows, more in the highs, less in a certain part of the middle. And that's just impossible if all you're doing is using EQs like this. So don't forget about the mid-range, super important. Number 3 is not using shelves. Like we looked at before where people were ignoring the mid-range, they're often doing it with these high and low pass filters like this, where you can get a lot more control by using a shelf instead. Let me show you an example of this is what a shelf would look like. See where it has that bend point and then it has a flat section there, and you can choose where that bend is and whether it's boosting or cutting and how much. A good way to think about this is the filter is a little bit more like an on and off switch. This area roughly is off, this area roughly is on. But with the shelf, you can pull this down and it's more like a dimmer switch for a light, where you can choose the spot you want to adjust and lower it or raise it and get a much more gentle and precise result. You could also consider the problem here that as we sweep through here with the filter, see when we're getting to a point like this where we're close to the fundamental there, the filter doesn't let me change the volume of that fundamental that much. All it lets me do is gradually turn off bits and pieces from the below part. As we get further up, it's gradually turning off bits and pieces as we get to the higher part. But it's slanted. It's not like we're here where I can evenly just say, all right, I want to come to that fundamental bit and I can just turn it down or I can turn it up without drastically tilting that section of my mix. So it gives you much more control. It sounds more natural. It's just more subtle too. You can like filters are kind of like trying to cut paper with a chainsaw. They're just too aggressive, not even to get into the weeds of the problems that they can potentially cause with phase as well. But I think even before that, the biggest issue is that just you're going to get better sounding results as well and more natural results by using shelves. So don't ignore your shelves. Try and do everything with shelves first and only use a filter if you absolutely can't do it any other way. All right, so there's 3 of the most common mistakes I see producers make with their EQs. I actually have 9 more of these available, which you can check out, and tips on what you should do instead. You can watch the full video for that now in our Inner Circle group. Just click the link below to get started. When you enroll, you'll get access to not only that video, but over 700 more videos as well too, all sorts of music production tutorials, and new videos are added each week. And as a member, you can suggest and vote for what video you want us to make next as well. You'll also get access to weekly feedback sessions with me and the other mentors, where we give you constructive feedback on your music in real time. So you want to get your song finished, you want to get it ready for record label release, or you just want a second opinion, we've got you. We'll tell you exactly what's needed to be done and exactly how to do it. So go click that link and I'll see you in the Inner Circle.